Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving straight into Agatha Christie's. And then are none.
Hmm.
Specifically, we're looking at the Samuel French acting edition, the one copyrighted 1939 and 43.
That's the one, the stage version.
Exactly. And today, our focus is really on those first moments, the initial setup, how that group of strangers starts arriving on Soldier Island.
Right, those early scenes, they're so crucial for building that creeping tension, aren't they?
They really are. What is it about them that works so well, do you think? How does she set the stage for, well, everything that follows?
Well, what's really striking, I think, is how Christie doesn't just, throw you into horror. It's much more subtle.
Yeah.
It's a layering of details, these little observations and interactions that create this atmosphere of, well, foreboding, anticipation.
Okay, so paint the picture. We start in the living room, big house on Soldier Island off the Devon coast. It's supposed to be a nice summer evening in August.
Seems idyllic almost.
Right. And the first person we actually see arrive is Fred Narracott, the boatman. He's just dropping off supplies.
Yeah, just doing his job.
But he mentions something, doesn't he? Seeing two other gentlemen who'll be arriving later. Why start there? Seems kind of minor.
Ah, but that's clever, isn't it? Starting with Narracott, he's an outsider.
Okay.
So we get this slightly detached view first, and his comment about the other arrivals, it immediately suggests this isn't random, it's planned.
Right. It plants that little seed of mystery straight away, makes you think, okay, someone's organizing this.
Exactly. You're already aware something is being set in motion.
Then we meet Mr. and Mrs. Rogers, the caretakers. They're busy getting things ready.
Rushing around.
Yeah, they've got the guest list. They're talking about Miss Claythorne, these newfangled gadgets. What's their dialogue doing for us at this point?
Well, a couple things, I think. First, it gives us that sense of, like, everyday domestic life, which makes the later events even more jarring.
Good point. The contrast.
And their conversation, their slight confusion about the guests, the fact that the supposed secretary is delayed, it adds another layer of intrigue.
Suggests even they don't really know what's going on.
Precisely. They're involved, but maybe not fully in the loop. The picture isn't complete, even for them.
Okay, so after the Rogerses, we get Vera Claythorne and Philip Lombard arriving together. Vera seems quite taken with the island, its beauty. But then she talks with Lombard about the owners, these Owens.
Mr. and Mrs. Ewan Owen.
Right. And the fact there's no phone, no way to easily contact the mainland, that sense of isolation hits pretty hard pretty early.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. That isolation isn't just a backdrop.
No?
No, it's a core part of the trap. By cutting them off so clearly, right at the start, Christie removes any easy way out. No calling for help.
Raises the stakes immediately.
Instantly. Whatever happens next, they're stuck there.
Right. Okay, then Anthony Marston bursts onto the scene, drives too fast, seems very full of himself.
Young, energetic, maybe a bit reckless.
How does his arrival change the dynamic or the feeling that's building?
It's quite a jarring note, actually. You've got this subtle unease developing, and then bam, Marston arrives, all carefree.
Yeah.
It highlights the mix of personalities being thrown together, maybe hints at his own character flaws too.
Yeah.
That carelessness.
Interesting. Okay, next up is William Blore. But he doesn't introduce himself as Blore, does he?
No, he comes in as Mr. Davis. Claims he's from South Africa.
So, our first definite lie. Deception, right out of the gate. What does that signal?
It's huge.
Yeah.
It immediately tells you, okay, people here have secrets. They're hiding things.
Puts you on edge about everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You start questioning everyone's story, not just his. It just ramps up that atmosphere of distrust. Masterful, really.
Then General Mackenzie arrives. Older, military type. And we hear that detail again about the secretary being delayed.
Mrs. Owen's secretary is stuck in London.
Why repeat that?
Well, repetition hammers at home, doesn't it? Something's not quite right with the host. It's this little inconsistency that just keeps nagging.
Keeps the unease simmering.
Yeah, this stops anyone from getting too comfortable. The whole foundation feels a bit shaky.
Following the general is Miss Emily Brent. She seems quite formidable.
Tall, thin, rather severe looking.
And she makes a point of refusing alcohol immediately. Never touch it. What does she bring to the mix?
Her rigid morality, that judgmental air, it sets her apart, makes her seem uncompromising.
Potential for conflict there.
Definitely. And it hints at someone who might hold others to account, which, given what's coming, that could be very significant.
Then Sir Lawrence Wargrave, the judge, distinguished looking.
Yes, brings a sense of authority, perhaps. Intellectual weight.
And Marston apparently mutters something like, "Wizard place," when he sees him. What's that about?
It's an odd little comment, isn't it? Maybe just youthful slang? Or perhaps Marston recognizes something? Commanding or even slightly sinister about Wargrave? Like he fits the strangeness of the place.
Huh. Okay, and finally, Dr. Armstrong arrives. Looks tired, a bit fussy.
Yeah, about 44, the description says. Mentions a patient.
And he also refuses a drink, like Miss Brent, but maybe for different reasons. Seems stressed.
His weariness suggests maybe he's got his own burdens, his own secrets perhaps. Another potential vulnerability.
So that's the 10. All strangers, really, gathered on this cut-off island.
The full house.
And dinner's running late. The hosts, Mr. and Mrs. Owen, are still nowhere to be seen. You can feel the shift, can't you? From awkward politeness to actual unease.
Oh, absolutely. The tension is becoming much more palpable now. The questions are getting louder, even if unspoken. Where are the Owens? What is this all about?
And then, after dinner, the gramophone.
The voice. That's the moment everything shatters.
It's such a dramatic reveal, isn't it? Why is it so effective?
It's the impersonality of it, I think.
Yeah.
This disembodied voice just lays bare everyone's darkest secrets. There's no person to confront.
Just the accusation hanging in the air.
Exactly. It feels inescapable, almost supernatural in a way. It strips away all the social pretense instantly.
And the accusations themselves, let's just quickly run through them again. Armstrong, causing the death of Louisa Mary Cleves.
Blore. Responsible for James Stephen Landor's death.
Emily Brent, for Beatrice Taylor.
Vera Claythorne. For Cyril Ogilvy Hamilton.
Lombard, guilty of the deaths of 21 men from an East African tribe.
Mackenzie. Connected to the death of his wife's lover, Arthur Richmond.
Marston, guilty of murdering John and Lucy Combs.
The Rogerses. Brought about the death of Jennifer Brady.
And finally, Wargrave, guilty of the murder of Edward Seaton. Wow, just the sheer weight of all that suddenly exposed.
It's staggering, and it's not just the accusations, it's the public nature of it. Secrets they've probably hidden for years, suddenly thrown out there for everyone to hear.
Transforms the whole dynamic.
Completely. From a dinner party to, well, a room full of accused murderers. Fear, suspicion. It's all right there.
And the reactions are immediate, aren't they? Denial, shock, trying to explain it away.
Yeah, outrage, justifications. But you can almost see the horror dawning as they realize this isn't some sick joke.
It's real.
It's real. And they're trapped. Trapped with each other and with someone who knows everything. The isolation becomes terrifying.
Then, almost immediately after this chaos, Anthony Marston suddenly chokes, collapses, dies.
Right. Seems like poison. Cyanide, they suspect later.
And then someone, I think it's Rogers, notices one of the little soldier boy figures on the mantelpiece is broken.
Ah, yes. The 10 little soldier boys. Nursery rhyme.
What's the importance of that broken figure right then?
It's chilling. It's the first concrete link between the deaths and that rhyme, which they've all seen copies of in their rooms.
So it's not random.
No. It suggests a pattern, a horrifying, predetermined pattern based on the rhyme. It turns it from a potential murder into something ritualistic, almost like a game.
A deadly game.
Precisely.
So the initial shock about Marston's death shifts very quickly, doesn't it? From confusion to stark terror.
Absolutely. This wasn't an accident. It wasn't suicide as first suggested. This was murder. The first murder following the rhyme.
And they're all potential next victims.
And terrifyingly, one of them is almost certainly the killer.
So summing up these opening scenes, Christie masterfully takes us from this seemingly normal, if slightly awkward, gathering.
Polite strangers.
Through these unsettling details, the isolation, the missing hosts, then boom, the shocking accusations, the first sudden death, and that creepy, broken soldier boy.
It's an incredibly effective build-up. From subtle unease to outright terror in a relatively short space of time.
Leaving us with that huge central question. Who on earth is UN Owen?
This unknown host.
And what is the purpose of bringing these specific 10 people here to die?
That's the hook. That's the mystery that grabs you.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? That rapid shift psychologically. Imagine being there, going from making polite small talk to hearing you're accused of murder, seeing someone die, and realizing you're trapped with a killer.
What would you even do? How would you react? The fear must be overwhelming.
It's a truly brilliant setup, leaving everyone, characters and audience alike, absolutely on edge. Where could it possibly go from here?